So I'm here with Thomas, and we're just about ready to begin his very first hair transplant. Are you nervous going into this?
No, not really nervous. I started out with a couple little drugs, so I'm okay. No, I know people that have had it done, and they say it's pretty painless, and you have to be patient. So I'm excited for today, but I know that you don't see it for several months.
That is the truth, yeah, absolutely. 6 months, we should be seeing about half the result, and a year to see the full result. So, well, thank you for sharing at this point, and we will look forward for an update at the end of the day.
Thank you.
So I'm here with Thomas, and this is his very first hair transplant. And you can see I've drawn in the hairline right here. Thomas is a Norwood 5, and actually 5V, because there's a band in the middle, and then he's missing a bit in the crown, which you can't see all the way in the back. But we're going to focus primarily on the frontal and mid-scalp today. And you can see I've drawn it as a straight line, but there will be complete irregularity in the hairline. And the area demarcated by the pen in the front, you can see, is the area that we're going to try to create maximum density today. So Thomas, we just finished your very first hair transplant procedure. You didn't seem that nervous before, but tell us how the experience has been and how the day has gone.
Yeah, I wasn't nervous at all, but it was remarkably painless. I mean, once even the numbing process was like just minor pricks, and the only thing that was really weird about it was I could actually hear you cutting and pulling the back of my hair out, but there was no pain at all. And I mean, your ladies were all fantastic, and they were all joking around, and like I could hear some of the inside jokes from the office, and pretty soon 8 hours is up, and and I'm done. I can't believe how easy it was. I'll be back in 2 years when the rest falls out.
Yeah.
It's like, what am I gonna say?
Well, thank you so much for sharing, and we'll do another video when you come back for your suture removal in a couple weeks. And again, we appreciate you sharing your story.
Thank you.
So I'm with Thomas, and we just finished his first hair transplant. We did the FUT, the strip harvest procedure. You can see the irregularity in the hairline, and you can see the density that we placed the grafts very closely together to create as much density as possible. And we also put some grafts into the crown too. You can see back there, if you can put your head down just a tiny bit more, that's great. You can see those grafts back in the crown. So we placed about 2,600 grafts in the front and middle scalp, and then we placed about 400 grafts into the crown to help with the thinning back there. So with Thomas, 2 weeks after he had his very first hair transplant procedure, tell us how the experience has been up to now.
Yeah, the 2 weeks was like the original procedure, pretty uneventful. There wasn't hardly any pain, just it was itchy, and little tense sleeping the first few nights because you don't want to mess up the grafts, so I had a hard time just even resting my head on the pillows because you just don't want to mess anything up. But it's been pain-free, I gotta tell you. I'm ready to do the second procedure. So.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing, and we look forward to updates in the future with your new growth.
All right. Thanks, Doc.
So I'm with Thomas, and we're 2 weeks after his very first hair transplant procedure. As you can see, there's still a lot of the grafts are still left. Some of them have already shed, and that's completely normal. Usually at around 4 weeks, almost all the grafts have fallen out because they all need to shed before they regrow. But you can see the outlines of the hairline and where the grafts were placed. And then if you could please move your head down a little bit, and then you can see in the crown area too, we placed a bunch of grafts back there as well.
So I'm with Thomas, and we're about 8 months after you received just under 3,000 grafts to the frontal and mid-scalp. Tell us how the experience has been and how it's changed your life.
It's crazy. I wake up in the morning, early in the morning to go to the bathroom, and I walk past the mirror and I look, and I'm just like, who the hell is that guy? It's so crazy. I got like a real hairline. It's not even like it's like I didn't even have a procedure done. It's just like my hair from, 15 years ago or something. And the best part is that it's a surgical procedure. I mean, you took a strip from the back of my head and put it in the front, but it was, I mean, I was uncomfortable for maybe 2 weeks. I mean, the strip healed so quickly. So, I mean, it was virtually pain-free. And then you just watch your hair grow. I went to a hairdresser this week. I hadn't seen her in a year. And so I showed up and she was just like, "What did you do?" And then she kept going through it, saying, "I can't even tell you had anything done." So it's been great. I can't, I'm looking forward to round 2. Because, I mean, like the front is great and, but I'm still receding, through the top. So I'm thinking that round 2 in the middle, I think would just set me up for good. So that's what I'm thinking now.
Have friends and family noticed a change?
Well, what I get mostly, because I wore a hat often, so now I'm like, I do my work in Vegas, I do my shows, and then I go to my fiance's show backstage, and everyone who sees me, they always say, "Oh, hey man, did you lose weight?" Like they can't really, no one can tell, no one knows, so they just, and everyone says, "Oh, you look great." Like I just get, "You look great." I mean, but it's not a real big thing. Like no one's like, "Hey man, what did you do?" Like I never get that. My father, he's 25 years older than me. I'm losing my hair exactly like my dad. I mean, I look just like him. So I send him all the pictures. I've sent him pictures through the whole process, the before and after when we did the surgery, and I've sent him everything until recent. Even like a couple days ago, I sent him another one because I got my hair cut, and he just keeps going through them on his phone. Like I wake up in the morning and I get these texts. He's like, "I can't believe how natural it looks." Like he just can't believe it, And then he shows my uncle, and my uncle's not doing well. He's in the hospital. They're looking at my pictures of the hair growth, and my uncle and my father are like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it." So yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience.
Yeah, thank you.